stop there.
Jeez, he was coming fast.
No, red light, red light.
See that? Oh, gonna rinse me for that.
Stop. Yeah. Hiya guys, welcome back to Clearview Driving. My name is Aman and today I'm doing a mock test with Ishraq. Now this is the first time we're driving together and you've had only 10 hours of driving lessons?
Yeah, 10.
But you have been practicing with family for a year and a half?
Yeah, about a year and a half-ish.
And said something funny actually. You started on an automatic car.
Yeah, automatic.
How long were you driving automatic before you tried to...
Well, pretty much most of the time, like the whole year at least, because I got my car in February and I only had my lessons this year as well, so
all of your manual experience has been the last 2 months?
yeah, 2-3-ish months, yeah.
2-3 months,
Yeah.
okay. It's quite challenging that way around, you know?
Yeah, I did find it a bit challenging in the beginning, but then I adapted to it fairly
Yeah.
well, I'd say.
Most people would struggle because it's harder to go that way around.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's the other way around, it's much easier. You just have to take your left leg away.
Yeah. But then now it's like the other way around. When I'm in my dad's car, if I do drive that, like I always go for the clutch,
Oh,
but then there's no
no.
clutch. So it's
Have you ever accidentally braked with your left foot?
yeah. The other day I was we were going to park up and another car was coming, so I went to go press the clutch and the brake. Obviously there's no clutch, so both feet on the
What?
brake.
I don't even want to know how
Yeah.
that brake went.
Luckily we were going quite slow, so it wasn't too bad.
Oh god, that's scary.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how a test is going to be conducted? You know what to kind of expect today?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, do you want me to tell you a little bit about how the test will go?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, so throughout the drive, I want you to follow the road ahead. Whenever I need you to turn, I will tell you. I'm going to get you to do 15 minutes of independent driving, which is where I'm going to give you a series of directions to follow, which is your independent drive, one manoeuvre, and possibly the emergency stop, similar to everything that you've hopefully been doing anyways. Yeah? All right. Before we get started, I am going to ask you a question about your vehicle.
Okay.
So could you tell me, where would you find the coolant and how do you know it's at the correct level?
Coolant. So the coolant would be, you'd be able to check it in the engine bay. So you pop the bonnet, go in there and check. And to check the coolant level, you'd be able to see it on the side.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a max and minimum line, and then if it's in between that, you'll be
Perfect, that's fine. Another good thing to mention about the coolant is that it's compressed.
good. Oh yeah,
You'd
you
never
can't
wanna-
do it while the engine's hot.
Yeah,
You have to do it when it's
never
cold.
do that. That's something that I actually got marked down minor when I had to do my instructor
Oh.
test because I didn't mention that bit. So I always remember that. Alright, so for anyone that's new to the channel, don't forget to like the video, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and select that bell icon so that you get a notification every time that I upload. Alright Ishraq, I'm ready when you're ready.
This is the indicator sticker right here.
Yeah. So when you're ready, we'll
From,
start the engine.
It's from the clutch and
And drive off when you're ready. At the end of this road, turn right please. Hey guys, welcome back to another mock test. If you enjoy watching this content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, comment down below as I love reading your feedback, and subscribe if you're new, and enjoy the rest of the video. And then turn right again. If you could pull over and park up on the left somewhere safe. So when you need to park up, simply check your mirrors, signal left, start braking. Once you're slow, put the clutch down, steer gently towards the left and just straighten up using the vehicle ahead. Thank you. You can drive off whenever you're ready. Considering Ishraq has only had 10 hours of professional driving lessons, he drives very well. He's got great control over his steering and really smooth gear changes. Turn right, please. Let's follow that diversion sign. When there are parked vehicles blocking the entrance, be sure to slow down and lean forward as you're turning into the new road in case of any oncoming traffic. When approaching a right bend, always position back on the left-hand side in case of oncoming traffic. If you could pull in and park up on the right-hand side of the road, don't worry about the drives on this occasion. During your test, if you're asked to park up on the right-hand side of the road, this will be your parking on the right and reversing back for 2 car lengths manoeuvre. Be sure not to park too close as it's easier to reverse back, keeping a reasonable distance. That'll be great there. Okay, Ishraq, what I'm going to get you to do now is to reverse back for about 2 car lengths, keeping a reasonable distance from the pavement and try not to touch the curb as you carry out this exercise. Reverse back for 2 car lengths.
So close to the curb this time.
Before starting to reverse from this position, check over your left shoulder towards the road, checking all the way around towards your right blind spot towards the pavement. And Ishraq does this really well. Whilst reversing, he should gently tilt the wheel towards the left and the car would gradually move away from the pavement. Whilst reversing from this position, Ishraq is looking around over his left blind spot using the camera and the right hand mirror, but does not check his right blind spot and gets marked down for this. Also, while reversing, he is getting closer and closer to the pavement where the back tyre starts to touch the curb and gets marked down for this. Thank you, that's fine. Drive off whenever you're ready. Once you feel like you've completed about 2 car lengths, be sure to stop and secure the vehicle. You don't need to wait for the examiner to tell you to stop. And when moving off from this position, be sure to pay a lot of attention into the left-hand mirror and the blind spot as you're parked on the right-hand side of the road, and it's really easy to miss something that may be in your left blind spot. And turn left. If you could pull in and park up on the left-hand side somewhere safe.
Smack up there.
Just over here is fine. Thank you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to get you to carry out the emergency stop. As you're driving down this road, I'm going to look around and make sure it's safe, and I'm going to give you this signal. Stop. As soon as you get that signal, I'd like you to stop the car as quickly and as safely as possible. But wait for my signal before you carry out the exercise. Okay? Let's drive off when you're ready. Stop. Stop. Thank you. I'm not going to get you to do that again. You can drive off whenever you're ready. When moving off after an emergency stop, you can signal if you feel like your signal will be helpful to others around you. So in this case, nobody was around us, but Ishraq still signalled. It's not necessarily a fault. At the end, turn right, please. And if you could pull in and park up on the left along here, please. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to get you to follow some signs for a little while. So this is the start of your independent driving. So as we're going along this road, I'd like you to follow signs towards Uxbridge for a little while. Okay?
Sure.
If you get lost, you can ask. But they are quite clearly signposted. Okay, whenever you're ready, you may drive off. During your driving test, when it comes to the independent part of the driving test, 4 out of 5 tests will be sat-nav, where you have to just follow instructions on the sat-nav for about 15 to 20 minutes. 1 out of 5 tests will be where you have to follow road signs. So in this case, we're following signs towards Uxbridge. If you end up going the wrong way, it is not a fault, so be sure to keep driving safe. Ahead of us, the lorry is blocking a part of our lane, so it would be a good idea to signal right for oncoming traffic that we're going to be moving over the centre line. We're following signs to Uxbridge, okay? Now this is Cherry Roundabout, also known as a throughabout. When you first look at this diagram, it does look a bit crazy, there's a lot going on, but there are 2 ways to get to Uxbridge. You can go up, round to the right and then cut through the middle onto the dual carriageway, or you can go round the outskirts all the way around and then out to Uxbridge. Going through the middle would definitely be a lot easier. As soon as we enter, there are signs on the right-hand side pointing towards Uxbridge. Ishraq stays too close to the right, which is now going back round towards the M4, and he misses the traffic lights ahead. Oh, red light, red light.
Let's see that. Oh, red.
Oh, red light, red light.
Let's see that.
Red light, red light.
Let's see that. Oh, red. I was too focused on the signs on the road. How has that happened?
You're okay. So as we're going forward, yeah, we want to move back down all the way to the left. Yeah, like that. It's another red light, yeah?
Me for that.
signs from here towards Uxbridge, but we're going to follow Hillingdon Hospital from here. Ishraq's got a really good approach when it comes to roundabouts. He slows down, selects second gear in good time. As he enters the roundabout, he starts checking his mirrors towards the left so that he can spiral out towards his exit. Always plan your exit when it comes to roundabouts. So still following those H and A&E signs there. Ishraq is very alert when it comes to checking mirrors, as he's checking his mirrors before slowing down to make turns and also as he turns into a new road. Always be aware of your surroundings in case of any vulnerable road users. Alright, that'll be the end of your independent driving, okay? Just giving you directions as normal from now on. Ahead there are parked vehicles on the right hand side of the road, and although we do have priority, it's a good idea to drive slower as the road surface is wet and the oncoming traffic is not slowing down enough. At the roundabout, turn right please. Yeah, the signs are again hidden.
Really?
Overgrown trees everywhere. Stop there!
Jeez, who's coming fast?
Stop there!
Jeez, who's coming fast?
Stop there!
Jeez, who's coming fast?
Just wait a second.
Oh, sorry. I was already in the middle of the round.
It's okay. You okay?
Yeah, alright. When I looked, it looked clear, but then...
It's one of those ones where you really can't see.
Yeah, and then I see him just zooming past. That's
Yeah.
what it's great.
And right at this roundabout, please. Second exit. So I'd like you to demonstrate how you would turn on the fronty mister. Thank you, you can turn it on. When approaching any pedestrian crossing when there are pedestrians about, it's a good idea to step off the accelerator in case the lights change. Had the traffic lights changed, Ishraq would have had a difficult time stopping as we're going fairly fast. And then take the next road on your left, please. In this section of roadworks, there is a zebra crossing which is part of the roadworks. So as we're going forward, had a pedestrian been waiting to cross the road, you don't need to stop for them unless they're in the road, as they'll get their own timing with the traffic light sequence. But if you could pull in and park up on the left before that grey car, don't worry about the drives on this one. Just kind of get yourself into that space. And then if you could just reverse back just that little bit so we move back. Sorry, I didn't want you to rush to try and park there, that's why. Thank you, stop there. Secure the car. And you can switch off the engine. That's the end of your test.
Yeah.
How was your test then?
Yeah, well, I know the outcome, but you know, it was. I think that everything apart from those two mistakes that I made was. I think the rest was alright.
You know what? For what it's worth, you are a very good driver.
Thank you. Well, I mean, I
You
don't
just
know
got
about
very unlucky with those two.
that red light. Honestly, that was the first time I've ever that something like that has ever happened. I've never tried to even got close to running a red light.
No, you know what
I was just too
happened?
focused on the road marking, so I didn't actually look at the light properly.
Okay, so with that roundabout that we had, that's
Yeah.
actually called a throughbout. So coming up to that, Uxbridge was on the right, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on the right.
There were two ways to get to Uxbridge.
Oh, it could have just gone right.
So if you think of it like a burger, that's how I always look at that one.
Yeah.
You could have gone round and then just cut through the middle.
Yeah, I've never been on one of those roads, so I wouldn't know.
As soon as you started to go around the outskirts, the road marking threw you off. You saw M4 and you
Yeah,
started panicking.
I thought M4. I can't go on M4. So yeah.
So yeah, that was it. And I was like, oh, he's looking at road markings and the light was clear red.
Yeah, I was gone. That was the first time that's ever happened to me. I don't know
But
what
it's
happened to me
okay.
then.
You're gonna carry this forward and learn from this now, aren't you?
Yeah,
And
it's
you've
just
gotta
because
be
like, I
careful
also
with
don't know
road
the area
markings.
as well. Like, oh, is it
Yeah.
like the areas I live in? I know those areas quite well, so I don't have to worry too much
You
about
don't, yeah,
roads.
these kind of junctions are really tricky. There's a few of them scattered around London, but yeah,
Yeah.
so you can cut through the middle because that's the main carriageway, and then the roundabout's built around it.
Mm.
But yeah. Now with the van,
Yeah,
what
that
happened
was-
with the van?
I looked and I thought I saw it was clear. I don't know if it should. I looked and I saw it was clear, so
Okay,
I
it's one of
went to
those
go.
ones, right? When you're looking, we can only see about this sort of angle. You
Yeah.
can't see what's behind that hedge.
That's the problem, yeah.
And for the main road, for them, they've got a clear stretch.
Yeah,
And
exactly,
you're
they
kind
can't
of
see
coming
us.
in, so they can't see you. The van was travelling too fast. But now you want to just be a bit more careful. When you're hidden,
Yeah.
kind of come into it peeping and creeping rather than just going, yeah, it looks clear.
Yeah, we do. That's the thing. We haven't had much practice on roads like that either because we don't have roads like that where
So
I
let's
live.
just imagine anytime you're driving, if you get
Yeah.
to a junction where you're hidden and you can't see that road 100%, come into it cautiously.
Yeah.
And then
Try to
that'll
creep
save
on.
you that hassle, yeah.
Yeah.
Because most of the junctions we were approaching today, they were quite open,
Yeah.
where you could just see it. But that one, you couldn't see until, even when you're kind of coming out.
Yeah.
You were out slightly in the roundabout, but you still want to be careful at the speed at which they could be coming through. Okay? Besides that, there really wasn't much going on, honestly.
Yeah.
Your manoeuvre, parking on the right,
I was surprised about that.
you parked a bit close.
Yeah, that's what when you said that, I was like, oh, I should have parked a bit further away. It would have
So
been easier.
as soon as you know you're parking on the right, that is your manoeuvre.
Oh.
You're
Oh,
not
is
doing
it-
anything else on the right hand side of the road.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Two things with that one. Firstly, as you were reversing, you were kind of twisting it to the right slightly.
Yeah.
So I would have just done that, kind of tiny little left, so you don't get any closer.
Yeah.
Because by the end, your right tire was
Yeah,
starting
it was. I'm pretty sure it almost touched. It was like
yeah.
slightest bit off.
And the other thing is, before reversing, you did all your checks. But while you're reversing, you're checking here, there, as far as that mirror, not the right blind spot.
Oh.
But it was absolutely clear, but you should have been keeping kind of regular checks on that. Okay?
Yeah.
Because the road was absolutely clear and you did check before reversing it. It wasn't a major, but you should have been checking regularly. Any reversing, check out the back. You should be out this way the whole time. Okay?
Yeah.
Besides that, roundabouts, I was actually really happy with the bigger roundabouts. Kind of the mirror checks, the signals, the positioning, the steering, all of that was really good.
Yeah, I only got the mirrors. I only started getting the good mirrors after the first like actual lesson I had, because I used to, whenever we was turning right and it was on the inside lane of the roundabout, I used to always just look at this just so I wouldn't like look at this side just so I wouldn't like hit the roundabout or anything. But then since that first few lessons I started looking at that now. Yeah.
Because you had that movement outwards down. That was good. And a lot of learners tend to struggle with that, so you've done quite well with that. But yeah, it was just a shame with those two faults.
Yep, yeah. I need to tell my friends back home.
But you haven't got your test booked, and you've had a lot of experience with driving with a family and not a lot with an instructor. You can go forward and work on these things now. Because a real test is when you start driving on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah? That's where you really need to be careful, and that's what you want to do going forward now. Take care with these things. Okay. How was your mock test experience? Is this what you expected from today?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah.
Like, got to properly experience what a test would be like, so yeah, I know what's going to be coming up if I do actually take my test.
That's it. Alright guys, that's the end of another mock test. Hopefully that's been useful for you guys, so you can learn from some of Ishraq's mistakes as well, so you don't go and make the same mistakes. But we're always learning, right?
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Bye.